Boom, hey internets. Wanted to make a video about this topic. It happens from time to time for sure, but I had a subscriber who asked if I could help them once they've already sort of started the brand. And I do bunny ears or quotes because starting a legitimate brand, an entrepreneurial venture, a business on your own is gonna have certain things that you need to do, right? Like you should have a DBA and a sole prop. You don't have to have your own business checking account in the beginning, I say. You could just start a separate account in your current banking or one of your banks, right? And just separate your funds. I do think you should think about trademarking, right? That's gonna be a big expense up top. But my bigger point for this video is it costs money. There is risk. I've been talking about risk lately on the channel, but there is risk with launching a clothing line. It's not simple. It's not easy. It's very competitive. It's very competitive. If you haphazardly started your brand or just something that a word you and your friends came up with and then you got more and more serious about it, but you never did a trademark search to see if someone else is using the name, and I'm just talking about domestically in the United States, right? Maybe someone in Australia is using it, which is a whole nother thing, or someone in Asia is using it, but they're starting to put millions of dollars into it, but you've just never heard about it here in the United States. There's a lot of elements in play. Like I talk about proof of concept, right? This is what we're looking for in the very beginning of your brand. So whether you have a meager budget, whatever that number is, or you have a large budget, whatever that number is, right? We're trying to find proof of concept because it's a difficult game, right? What we're trying to do is create something out of thin air, create a word, a name, right? And then a shape like a logo. And we're trying to just manifest and create a story of what that is. We create a brand out of our mind, out of our visions, out of thin air. And then we convince our public that that's what this stands for. That's what it stands for me and hopefully for you, right? We're trying to create an entity that people pay into that is not a need, right? Like you need to eat, you need to sleep under a roof, so you need a home of some sort, and you need a car. These are needs. Like you can't really move on your day-to-day without it. Arguably, the car arguably. But clothing, I mean, you could get a cheap pack of white tees at Walmart to kind of cover your body. But in any case, let me zoom out a bit. We're competing with multi-million-dollar companies, right? I mean, fashion, billion-dollar industry. So could you just get by with just a little bit of that? Of course, but even trying to get that little niche of that is very difficult. It's very difficult to do because there's a lot of people who are in the pit that are competing for that little micro percent of the billion, okay? And so just to get proof of concept, you're gonna put money into t-shirts and hats. Even if you do the super color thing and get a heat press as well, I mean, you're just trying to control your expenses, but it's gonna take money. It's gonna take, you know, a little less than $1,000 to get that heat press as well. And then you need to buy blanks, and then maybe you're paying the designer, if you're not doing the designs yourself, to get the designs made so that you could put them onto the t-shirts to finally have a product to sell and then ship to your consumer, right? So as Nipsey Hussle would say, rest in peace, it's a marathon. So even if your proof of concept, like the type of funds you have is only gonna last you like a year or two, that money needs to be a marathon, right? We haven't even talked about marketing and social media posting and storytelling through your media, which doesn't cost money but does take time, right? But if you want to make the process efficient, now we're talking about buying apps and SaaS programs that can help you be a one-person army for the execution of all of that. So, sorry, went in deep on a lot of different things that are on my mind, but the reason I'm doing it is because I want to help you and then hopefully help you understand what you're in for on this journey. So if I told you all of that and you kind of haphazardly started a brand, but there's been no traction in the last 6 months, just know that these are some of the things that you're up for in the battle of trying to make it against some of these other million other brands that are started. Because in the time that you've been watching this video, someone started a brand by coming up with a name and starting an Instagram handle and then connecting their Shopify or whatever their e-commerce card is, and even just using, you know, Printful or Printify to have it be their fulfillment so they could test for proof of concept. I mean, if they came up with the name and the logo, they're in the pile too, trying to compete with the same funds that you are. In any case, I hope that helps. A couple suggestions for beginning clarity, I would have you look at my master budget, my master expense report on CBA. I also have a ton of courses, but if you're you're low on money, I always have my free pre-launch course. And I mean, if I could say so myself, I think it's pretty thorough for pre-launch and vision of what you're looking at in trying to launch a clothing brand. So that doesn't cost you any money. The link is below, so check that out. But on CBA, I have a ton of solutions all along the way, all right? Even if you're trying to come up with a name, I have a course for trying to springboard ideas to come up with a name, okay? All of it, arguably, I would say is really cost effective, but it's all tools to help you along that way. In any case, any questions or comments, drop them all down below, or you could text me directly at this number here. Gets my iPhone every single time. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.